All right, guys, Mark from parkflyers.com. Today we're looking at my favorite car of the year. This is an XRT Ultimate that we turned into a Platinum, and now it's a Platinum Plus because we took it even further. Now the customer, I have to thank him for being patient. I took a little bit longer than I'd like with this car, but I think when he gets it, he's going to be very happy. I'm going to declare this car one of my favorite cars of all time. Now, I don't usually like the XRTs. I like the X Maxes better. By the way, they sell 10 to 1 over an XRT. One of the key reasons I don't love the XRT is I think the wheels are a little bit too small from the factory. If you look at them, it just, for me, not in love with the wheel. It drives great, and it doesn't make it a bad car, but when you add the Proline MX-57s, they're made for the fifth scale cars. It makes it into like a monster truggy. So it's in between an X-Max and an XRT. For me, this just takes it up a notch. Really makes the car a lot more fun, more like a truck. I would call it a monster truggy, and I absolutely love it. So because the car already comes with the wide arms on it, and we added the M2C wide arm kit, you're talking about 90 millimeters wider than an X-Max. So you have all that width. You can't just ignore that and not touch the handling. Because the car is going to settle a little too much. So what we did was we add the hot racing dampers. We put them on all four corners. These are absolutely phenomenal. Now, the one thing I have to tell you is they don't come with two needed rubber O-rings from the factory. They only come with one on the top main part of the shock, but you need one on the bottom and you need one right here. Otherwise, this leaks. So if you buy the shocks from me, I will send you those O-rings on the house. And that's a token for buying from parkflyers.com. But if you're going to have an XRT, even the regular XRT, you'll benefit from these shocks because it adds damping. It's going to prevent the car from bottoming out on really big jumps. It makes the car so that it doesn't settle too much because of the width. It holds all that weight. You need more damping. Absolutely phenomenal. We also included the M2C pistons in the shocks to make them a little bit smoother, better pack. Overall, you're getting one of the best handling XRTs you can have. Absolutely a joy to drive. This thing is completely balanced when you jump it. Squeeze the trigger and just launch this thing, and it just sails into the air completely neutral. It's absolutely breathtaking to see this thing launch, and I absolutely love it. It's one of the few cars that I had the guts to do testing with because it's so stable, jumps so good. I actually went out and tested it before I made some adjustments, and I'm jumping with a car that I'm delivering to a customer. So I had to make sure not to damage anything or scratch anything. Luckily, it did not. So we took this out for many, many rides, and we tuned it to perfection. Obviously, this car is going to have, like we did in the previous X-Max Platinum, it's the Hobbywing motor and speed control, the Max 6 combo. It's absolutely phenomenal. The 5690 motor has so much more torque than the standard Traxxas motor. It really is unbelievable. We put, just like the previous model, 1.5 mod gears for extra durability, and we put that really strong cush piece in the cush drive so that the cush piece will not disintegrate from hard use. M2C Racing motor mount, unbelievable. Just make sure if you get it, you have to thread lock all the contact points. They don't do that from the factory, so take all the screws out and thread lock everything. Otherwise, that's going to come loose in a heartbeat. Just from a couple runs, it'll start loosening up. You don't want that. M2C Racing carbon fiber ESC plate. Fits perfectly, and then the on-off switch mount right here in carbon fiber. M2C really contributes to this car a lot. Also, their M2C gear cover, you really want that. You don't want to leave this open. Most people leave that open. I don't like that. Just it's not expensive. Just grab that, and you'll have a good time. Now, one of the things we added to this car that the X-Max did not have is a 50 millimeter fan. This is absolutely a cooling monster. We zip tied it to the motor. It's really stable. It works right off the battery. So this is a hot racing piece. They give you this wire. It goes right into an adapter that works off the battery. So it'll work off 11.1 or 14.8 volts. So it really puts out the power. And 50 millimeters is really what you want for this motor. It's oversized, but you only need one. It goes on there really, really nicely. And I can't tell you how much I love this fan. This is my new go-to fan for all the cars that I'm putting the 5690. You just strap this fan to the motor, and you'll never have to worry about overheating or having problems on a hot day. The customer that bought this car lives in a very hot climate in Africa. So this is what you want if you're living in a very hot climate. This is going to take all your temperatures and keep them in check. Now, just to make a note, On the regular X-Max that we did, so we did the M2C widening kit, and it's a hybrid adapter. It has a 24 millimeter hub on it, but a 17 millimeter extends out of the wheel. That's exclusive to Traxxas. You see their holes are a little smaller. So Proline, the MX Badlands, they come with 24 millimeter adapters, and luckily M2C Racing makes an upgrade for the wide kit, so you can make the ends all 24 millimeter. I highly recommend it. We didn't do it on the X-Max, but we did it on this car. If I'm going to do any other customer's car, I'm going to recommend the 24 millimeter hubs just because it's just so much better. The nuts also stay on a little bit better than the 17s. People have issues with them falling off during running. These do not go anywhere. They're unbelievable. These go right on there, and they're pretty solid. So let's talk about the width of the car. It's 2 feet wide. It's one of the widest cars that I ever put together. It's unbelievable. It tracks so well and drives so balanced, especially with the additional power. It's just absolutely breathtaking in both acceleration, power, runtime, efficiency, all the things that you want out of a motor and speed control you have. We turned up the punch to 7. We think that's the best. We dialed up the brakes a little bit from the factory settings. I think we're about 67% or somewhere around there. And we left all the other settings alone. And we also turned up the servo up to 7.4 volts for quicker steering. You have a perfect pass servo in there like we're putting in all these builds. And this, like I said, this is one of my favorite 5th scale cars that I've ever put together. Between the power and the handling, the overall balance and the poise. I'll tell you what, I never considered the XRT. Just wasn't a fan. Like I said, it came with the smaller wheels. With the bigger wheels, more power, better handling. This is my favorite car, probably of all time. I'm probably going to build one for myself. But just like this has incredible amount of upgrades on it. It's going to be a lot more durable, a lot better driving, and just a lot more fun. This setup here is going to last the customer quite some time. As a courtesy to the customer, we did some internal spray rubber coating for the inside of the cover. It makes it a lot more durable, and it prevents it from falling apart. It's a special type of spray that adds durability. It dries pretty hard, and it's basically like one of those indestructible type of bodies. But anyway, it's going to go good with this. Just to note, if you're putting the hot racing shocks on the car, these get in the way of the body settling onto the chassis through the clips. So you actually have to take a reamer and actually ream out both sides, and it just basically lets this stick out, and then the body can go on, no problem. But yeah, you definitely want to get those reservoirs. They're very, very tricky to tune. You have to know what you're doing. It's not for beginners. If you need us to ever work on a custom car, I highly recommend using us to do it. Like I said, they don't come with the O-rings needed to complete it. They're going to leak. If you don't have somebody like me add the O-rings and tune them, like I said, you have to bleed them correctly for them to perform the right way. If you fill them up and don't bleed them, the car is going to drive like crap. So if you do get these reservoirs, like I said, the key to them is tuning. And then you get a car that's just absolutely incredible. You get a wide car, you get a fast car, you get a balanced car. This car is absolutely a joy to drive. One of my favorites. Anyway, thank you so much for joining us on this video. Please like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.